Tintin XL 92.5 FM.
All right, the new drug today is another day, one day after the draft, one day later. Couple final thoughts about the draft haul. Got a lot of other thoughts about the draft stuff going on. We'll get to that. And there's some way too early mocks out.
That's right.
Did you read them?
I've looked at a few, yeah. It's interesting.
You know what I gleaned?
There's really no consensus.
Yeah, here's what I gleaned from the early mocks. Nobody has any idea.
Yeah.
You can do the way too early top 25 2 days after the national championship game. As long as you toss in Alabama and Ohio State and Georgia, you're okay, right? I mean, just figure out where those three are going, and then drop me an LSU and a Michigan up there. Give me a Penn State, right? Give me, and then I'm pretty much good. Make sure Miami's around 15. Florida in the good years is 18. Give me Clemson around 11 or 12 every year. You know what? I can do them. I can do the way too early for 29.
Make sure Tennessee's overranked.
Yeah, Tennessee. I mean, you can
throw Utah in there to make it look like you know what you're talking about.
Right. So I could do the way. I could do the way too early now for 2 years from now.
Yeah,
and it'll be pretty close to what the way too early will. I'm going to drop Baylor in there.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because Baylor's the upstart.
Yeah,
so give me Baylor as the up. Maybe K-State is the upstart. Yeah. So, but I found out I was looking at these way too early mocks. They're all over the place.
They really are, and Dane Brugler pointed out in his, I think last year he had like 13 guys of his 32 that ended up going in the first round. Then he said like 6 guys didn't even enter the draft, and then the rest were out of the first round. So I mean, everybody admits it's something more for entertainment than it is like take this as the gospel of the top 32 players on the board a year out from the draft. But it's interesting just to kind of see the players that, that have, good vibes and buzz going in. I mean, to me, the day of the early mock draft died 5 years ago when Emory Jones was like 3rd overall going into his final year. I don't even remember who had it, but it was like, you gotta be kidding me, right? And
I
remember we talked about it.
I do.
He was like 3rd.
I'd forgotten until you just told me that.
He didn't even finish the season as his team starter.
Right.
I mean, and never, certainly wasn't drafted. And,
right.
I think he might have gotten invited to a camp for 2 weeks, but I don't think he's currently in the league. But regardless, so yeah, they're fun, and it's interesting it's more, I think, a college football exercise just to look at who are some of the more impactful players coming into the year. But in terms of knowing, who's going to go in the first round of next year's NFL draft, there's an entire year to go, and we know very, very little. And again, with NIL now, I mean, who's to say Arch Manning's going to enter the draft?
Yeah.
I mean, if he can make $6-7 million as a college quarterback and loves it, and I mean, why would you go? And unless you're just absolutely dying to start your NFL career, and some guys are, but other guys like the college lifestyle, and now that they can make almost as much as they can make, and in some cases more, if you're like Quinn Ewers and you get picked in the 7th round, I mean, he probably threw away $6 million.
Yeah. Well, that's right. And that's the point. Even if the Arch Mannings of the world do come out, because you're kind of sure they will, what about the guy that might be 12th, right? That guy, the guy that's going to be 30th or 35th might not make that much money in NIL. The guy that's 1st or 2nd is probably coming out. It's that guy that's going 18th, right? I think the guy going 35th overall in the draft is making big time. Well, you're right. Good point. But the guy making 18 might be. He's got a real decision to make. So, I mean, we talk about in basketball. I'm going to talk about some of these guys. Is the portal goes hot and heavy in basketball? Alex Condon, if he's going to make $2 million in NIL, which is probably close,
and could make more if he just said, "I'm on the open market."
Right.
Send me your highest bidder.
That's right. But good point. But he's probably going to go back to Florida if he stays in college. He's going to make $2 million.
Yeah.
Well, if you're an NBA draft, if you're the 32nd pick in the NBA draft, based on the poll I saw, the table I saw, you're probably a little over 2.2, 2.3. That's what it was last. So let's say it's 2.5 now. So you're 2.5 if you get drafted 32nd, and you're $2 million if you stay in school. Okay, that's great if you could wait till the draft to decide, but you can't.
Right.
He's getting the $2 million. I assume he's getting the $2 million if he goes back to Florida
At a minimum.
Yeah, he's getting that.
And if Florida, for whatever reason, balked, they're not going to.
Right.
He was having dinner with Todd Golden last night, per Golden being on the Field of 68 podcast and doing video. And I don't know if you saw the clip, and he kind of moved the camera over.
Oh, he did.
I didn't. And he was sitting with Carlin Hartman and Condon.
Oh, he did. I didn't. So, but that's good. I saw that he was on, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
But the point is the $2 million's guaranteed.
Right.
You know, someone said, well, second round dollars aren't guaranteed. First round are. Well, so are NIL dollars.
Yeah.
They're guaranteed too. So it'll be interesting the way that.
Honestly, and getting back to the quarterbacks, unless the other part of this too is you also need to be probably like top, 3 to 5 in your class, because you don't know how many teams are going to take quarterback. Now, some years like last year, 6 teams in the first round could take a quarterback. But it's not always like that. I thought, this year I didn't think there were that many musical chairs. So when, like Shedeur Sanders and Quinn Ewers started to fall, it was like, well, look, not that many people need a starting quarterback. The Titans have solved theirs with Cam Ward. And so in some years, if there's only maybe 4 franchises looking to draft a quarterback high and you're the 5th or 6th guy in your class, well, you may really fall. I mean, it's pretty obvious teams are either going to draft who they think they can hand the keys to, or they're just not going to draft quarterbacks until very late. And so I think it's going to lead to a resurgence in the college football star, because I think you're going to see really good players that would have entered the draft 5 years ago, but now being able to make, $3-4 million, maybe more, if you're really the elite of the elite. Why would you give that up?
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. We'll certainly keep an eye on that. We'll watch that. I want to talk about a number of things today. I want to talk about LeBron James. LeBron obviously faded in the fourth quarter of the most recent game. They're down 3-1 to the T-Wolves. They're not going to win the series. So at age 40, his playoff run is going to end pretty quickly this season. Is this it? He wanted to play with his son. I mean, that was it was a stated goal to play with his son. Well, now he's done that. Now there's nothing new next year.
He wants to play with his grandson.
Yeah, maybe he does. And don't put it past him. But is this the end? And I got a lot of thoughts on that. Do we want it to be the end? Now, look, he's still having amazingly good statistical games. How long does he go? How long? And if he gets out, what would the legacy be? Second best player ever?
I think, without a doubt.
I mean, second best player ever.
And he'll have his certainly a vocal contingent that'll say, no, he's the best.
Yeah, but
I'll never get there on that. But I mean, that doesn't mean it's wrong.
But whether the new generation thinks he's better than Jordan or the old generation thinks Jordan's better, that's where he is.
He's at worst too.
He's at worst in the minds of He's at worst. Who's 3? Magic, Bird, Jabbar,
Kareem.
You can lump them all in there, couldn't you? I mean, there's a lot of guys you could lump in there.
Dan Warner.
Yeah. So he's I don't know if he's ahead of Dan Warner, but I mean he's ahead of all those other guys. So I'm going to get to that coming up today. Should the kid that sent should the Falcons
Ulbricht is that
Jeff Ulbricht, should the Falcons DC be penalized?
No.
Let's get into that later. I mean, it's a weird deal.
I think the embarrassment is monumental.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can only imagine his just utter embarrassment. Would you fine him just because he left the software open for his son to view?
He was an interim coach. Okay. He's been a coordinator a long time. He's got a lot of money. Okay, he doesn't make what the average Joe makes. All right, and I'm going to get into this later, but this might be one. Even though you're not supposed to do this, this might be a little fine to send a message to the next guy and the next guy and the next guy. Okay, I might fine him, even though that's a pretty innocent mistake, leaving your computer open at home. You would think that's a safe place, but.
Do we know if they did fine him? Like, would we ever know that?
They did not.
Okay.
The Falcons said there's going to be no further action. They've announced that. Now the league could come involved, but I want to get to it later. I feel bad for the dad, but I think if you send a message this time, I mean, apparently everyone's getting pranked. Shedeur, it made news because Shedeur is the big name.
Correct.
I saw like 3 other guys.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll get into it. The kind of the aftermath is we clean up the draft a little bit. A thought or two about that. I want to get into that coming up. I'm going to get on. I got a thought about play-by-play, guys. I'm going to get to that coming up later on. I got a lot of stuff on my on paper today. But we'll start. We got a Duval County Scholar Athlete coming up. We'll kind of start after that with kind of getting into the whole. Who are the Jags now? How good their team? We haven't done that yet. We did it after free agency. We did it when they started cutting guys. For the most part, you got your 53. I mean, you got 90 that'll become 53. That doesn't mean there's not another deal somewhere along the line. But for the most part, this is your team. For the most part, we're sitting here at the end of April. We kind of know the team they're going to play with. Now, we don't know how it's going to look because it's a different offensive scheme and it's a different defensive scheme. But we kind of know their team. How good is their team? You've already done a 53, right? Mm-hmm. So that'll change a few times. But I mean, I think it's an interesting question. So we'll talk some Jaguar football. Start it that way. I want to get into Shedeur. I want to get into LeBron a little bit. Look ahead. I do want to look at some of these early mocks. There are some themes that came out of those. College basketball, the portal's ongoing. I'm going to bring up a play-by-play guy that I want to talk about coming up later on as well. I got a lot of stuff, so glad you're with us. Thanks for stopping by on this Tuesday. Our Tuesday is always brought to you by the Nimnick family of dealerships. That means Nimnick Chevrolet on Caston Avenue. It means Nimnick Buick GMC on Phillips Highway. I've been buying my cars from Nimnick since 1982. I am proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that I'm a spokesperson for them. I think it's the best car dealership around. Nobody but Nimnick is the name you need to know when you're buying a car in Jacksonville. Let's start with our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. That's next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
This could be the piebald syndrome. The piebald syndrome is when the metal in your mouth collects radio signals.
You're kidding.
It happens quite often, but usually with
1010XL.
Are you ready to step up to luxury?
Check out the power of our exciting 2025 lineup, including the Lyric, IQ, Optique, and the stunning Vistique.
With over 15 electric Cadillacs in stock and more on the way, it's the perfect time to trade in your Tesla and embrace luxury with a twist.
At Randy Marion, there are no tariffs. So visit Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville, and see why our electric lineup turns heads.
Don't miss out. Drive Cadillac, electric or gas. We have both. Plus tax tag title $9.99 admin fee and resist all on approved credit.
If you suffer from constant burning, tingling, or numbness in your hands or feet, it could be a serious condition called neuropathy. I'm Dr. Nathan Riddle, DC with Riddle Wellness in Ponte Vedra. Neuropathy is treatable, and we have seen great results by using state-of-the-art, non-invasive therapies to target damaged nerves, reduce symptoms, and improve nerve function. Call 904-395-5598 to schedule your free consultation today and learn how you can live pain-free. Call 904-395-5598.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler, and this Mother's Day, we'd like to help you celebrate Mom with up to 40% off our entire inventory. GIA certified natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds, beautiful colored gemstones, designer brands, custom jewelry design, and Monahan Jewelers offers interest-free financing on any purchase, so get something special with a payment you can afford. Come celebrate Mom with fine jewelry at up to 40% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Plumbing problems, AC not blowing, septic tank doing whatever septic tanks do? Don't call 3 different companies and play contractor roulette. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. Waddle over to duckduckrooter.com. When you're stuck, call the duck.
At IHRS, we're passionate about solving your hair loss. We're clients too. With the latest hair transplant technology, FDA-approved laser hair therapy, and PRP, we guarantee solutions for both men and women. Call now for a free consultation and receive $250 off. Hair restoration is for me, and it can be for you too. Go to hairforme.com or call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477.
It's the Gator Podcast Channel with Frank Frangie and me, Dan Hicken, on all things Gators. Hacker and Denny Thompson have Gator Bites, and you can find them wherever you find podcasts or at 1010XL.com. Presented by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When mosquitoes show up, they are a buzzkill. You want them out of your yard, and fast. At Terminix, they know that mosquitoes bite, but not for long. They'll provide regular treatments to protect you and your family all season long. Go ahead and schedule that picnic, because when mosquitoes show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a mosquito problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Yo, it's your main man E.T. here, and it's time to make those summer break plans. Clay County is calling. From paddleboarding on Doctors Lake to reeling in the big one on Black Creek or cruising the St. Johns River. There's no better place to dive into warm weather fun. Enjoy live music, local festivals, food trucks, and fireworks lighting up the night. Discover scenic parks, hidden trails, and must-visit local gyms. Your summer adventures start here. Visit exploreclay.com.
Mia here. You know, people typically start and end their day by visiting their closet. So shouldn't that space feel calm, organized, like a little moment of luxury? That's why I chose Closets by Design. They specialize in custom solutions for every lifestyle and budget. Call them this week to schedule your free in-home consultation and get 40% off plus another 15% off and free installation. Don't wait for mom to do it. Call now at 1-800-293-3744 or visit closetsbydesign.com.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get Zero Resified and take 25% off all services. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com and tell them Hicken or 1010XL sent you.
Zero Res.
The experts at AMCO have been fixing cars for almost 60 years. Over that time, they've gotten more complex than ever. That's why our techs undergo rigorous training and certifications, so they can fix anything, including the most complicated repairs that come with some of the latest technologies. After 60 years, there's nothing we haven't seen or fixed. It's how we know cars inside and out.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Family owned and operated in Jacksonville, Orange Park, St. Augustine, and St. Mary's, Georgia.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Hey, let's go!
And now, this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
All right, it is time for our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. It's Haley Hines. She is from Paxson. Haley, nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm good. Nice to meet you guys as well.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Haley is a pitcher for the softball team at Paxton. Got a game tonight, in fact, by the way.
Big game.
So tell me a little bit about pitching for Paxton. You've played softball a long time. Always been a pitcher. Tell us about that.
Yes, I've always been a pitcher. I've been a pitcher for 9 years. Pitching for Paxton has been incredible. I love the team. I love the dynamics. I love the coaches. Yeah.
Very cool.
How much of your teammates meant to you?
What did you say? Ask me.
How much of your teammates meant to you?
My teammates mean a lot to me. They bring very positive energy. Just having them behind me while pitching is just a great experience.
So how did you wind up as a pitcher? You played youth softball all along. Tell us about when it started and how did you wind up being a pitcher, or did you start out there the whole bit?
So my first season of softball, I was like 9 years old. I actually started off playing outfield, but because I'm a left-handed pitcher and there's not a lot of left-handeds out there, one of my coaches was like, I'm going to give you this guy. You should try pitching. You're left-handed. I think you'd be great. You're tall, all of that. So I became a pitcher ever since then.
Tall lefty.
Yeah.
They're tough. I can just tell you.
Do you have a favorite pitching performance you can tell us about?
Yes, my favorite pitching performance was actually a few weeks ago against Fernandina Beach. It was a one-hitter, and I had about 14 strikeouts. It was a fun game.
Wow.
So you struck out 14 against Fernandina Beach. So, guys, if you ever played them again, it'd be interesting to see.
Yes.
When do you play them again?
We actually play them again tonight.
Tonight. Tonight. I might have known that, Hays.
Yeah.
So that's exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
It's very good. What time's the game?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Okay. So when you leave here, what do you do? Do you go get warmed up? Do you go stretch? Do you go eat? What are we doing after this?
Since Paxton's a bit of a drive away, I'm going to hopefully try to get there in a hurry and then start warming up.
Okay. That sounds great. Hey, tell us a little bit about some of the things you're involved. You're obviously a very good student as well. Tell us about some of the stuff you're involved in away from the field and about academics and why they're important to you.
So I'm involved in quite a bit of things at my school, like National Honor Society, Science National Honor Society, Mu Alpha Theta, Hispanic Honor Society, Senior Class Officer. All that's important to me because it's about balance. It's about balance.
Very
All
cool.
of it's very...
I get it.
Haley, do you know where you're going to go to college yet?
Yes, I'm going to college at Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm going to be playing softball there.
Awesome.
Very excited. How'd you pick Southern? How'd you land there?
Oh, I ended up at Southern because a lot of my family's from the Louisiana, Mississippi area, and I really loved their culture, and their coaches were really amazing to me when I first met them.
Very cool. What are you going to study?
I'm going to study biology.
Okay, and the plan, one down the road?
I hope to be an orthodontist or in the dental field.
Very cool stuff.
Absolutely. What's your favorite pitch?
My favorite pitch is my screwball. I love my screwball.
All right.
And I'll bet those Fernandina hitters have already seen it once. So,
Yes.
Well, good luck tonight. If you struck them out 14 times, you're probably going to have a good game tonight. Good luck against Fernandina. And congratulations for being our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Thank
Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you all as well.
All right. Haley Hines. She is from Paxton. She is our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week, a left-handed pitcher. And by the way, all right-handed pitchers like me are jealous that we weren't left-handed pitchers. Okay, so the left-handed pitchers are the good ones. So congratulations to Haley, and she's super sharp. How about that? She comes in here today. Got a ball game tonight.
That's awesome.
Okay.
It's always cool when they come in their uniform.
Yeah, I know. There's no. I mean,
Yeah.
that's exactly. It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. So she's a. So congratulations to Haley. We appreciate her stopping by. We truly do. And that, by the way, is our last Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week for the year.
Oh wow!
Now we will have Duval County Scholar Athletes of the Year, both a boy and a girl, and we'll celebrate those on our program probably in about a month or so. And our friend Tammy Talley, who's the athletic director for Duval County Public Schools, does such a wonderful job.
Oh yeah, take a bow. What a great class. They always are, but
they really are.
This one was just exemplary.
It really was, wasn't it? I mean, and you're right, they always are, but this was one heck of a class. I totally agree with you. So we'll meet the Duval County Scholar Athlete, boy and girl, of the year coming up in about a month. Let's talk some Jaguar football for a minute. Frangie and Carlyon, JJ LaSelva with you. You like their team?
I do.
What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? I mean, the team is set. For the most part, the team is set.
Right. And we still have to see, like, can Liam Cohen handle being a head coach? Obviously, James Gladstone looks like he can handle the GM part. I mean, 11 free agents, trading up to get Travis Hunter, and I think a very solid class behind him. So I would say, to your point, the team is sort of the team. So James Gladstone, I'd say, the bulk of his work is done. It now sort of shifts to Liam Cohen, and so that's a variable because we've just never seen him as a head coach. But in terms of their talent, I think they've got enough talent to win a bad division. If they were in another division, I think the expectation would be like, can you get close to 500 or maybe get that winning record, maybe fight for the 7 seed in the AFC, which will be loaded again. But in this division, go win the division. And then you just never know. Hopefully you get the right, rub of the greens in the tournament and maybe you go on a sneaky run. But I absolutely think they have enough talent to outlast the Texans, Colts, and Titans. I'd pick them to win the division today. I don't like at all what the Texans have become and what they've done this offseason. And you do have to kind of pump the brakes on C.J. Stroud after the electric rookie year, and then he was just sort of okay last year. So I don't view Houston as this, so far out of the Jaguars. And I get it. They finished 6 games above the Jaguars last year. But it is stunning. And this really came out even more so last week because obviously we hear things. But I mean, I heard some things last week in terms of what was going on last season with Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke. It's amazing they won 4 games. So, I mean, the dysfunction was, at a staggering high. More so than, we knew it was bad, but I think even more so than maybe what we knew. And so I think now that everybody is pulling in the same direction and you've got that hunger and ambition of these men running the show, Baselli, Gladstone, and Cohen, and I think with the talent that they've brought in, I think that they can contend and win the AFC South. That, to me, doesn't make them one of the best teams in the NFL. But I think they can take advantage of being in a bad division.
I will say this to that end. If you lose 18 of your last 23 games, no matter how much dysfunction you have at the top, there's some concerns with your roster. In the NFL, if you lose 18 of 23, there's some things that aren't great about your roster. But I will say this. It does seem like they were very aggressive and robust in fixing the problem areas. If you asked me the problem areas before any of the player procurement phases, free agency, draft, any of it, I would have, and people did. We do podcasts, we do shows on other markets. It happens all the time, and we get asked all the time. And I would tell you that the areas that personnel areas that concern me the most, the physicality of the offensive front, okay, the inability to keep people from throwing it over the top, the interior of the defensive front, and lack of stars, okay? Well, the third of those fourth, I'm not sure they did a lot to fix yet, okay? But the other three, the physicality of the offensive line, they clearly addressed that. They signed 4 offensive linemen in free agency, 40% of their class, and then drafted a very physical offensive lineman pretty high. So they addressed that. As far as deep balls over the top, they clearly have addressed that. We'll see if they got it right. But they signed Jordan Lewis and Eric Murray. Then they drafted 2 safeties. And, oh, by the way, they drafted a cornerback wide receiver combo guy who's going to be in there in all the big moments. That's 5 guys. So that's 5 guys they've added that you hope would stop balls over the top. There's 5 offensive linemen they added that, by all accounts, all seem to be physical players. So you would think they addressed that. I'm not sure they addressed the interior of the defensive front, which I thought was an area. I thought they needed edges, but I didn't think edge was a weakness. Okay, I thought the interior of the defensive front, and they need stars. They might have got the best star to come out of the draft in the last 2 or 3 years. So if you look at I know I'm a happy guy. I know that. I'm always glasses half full guy, and I always think they're going to win. I know that. I know who I am. I'm introspective. But if you look at what you believe were their weak areas, it certainly looks like they did all they could, Hays, to have fixed those. We'll see if it worked. We'll see if maybe Robert Hainsey won't be better than Mitch Morse. Maybe Patrick McCarry won't be better than Brandon Sheriff. I got a hunch they will be, but for the sake of the conversation, maybe not. But they certainly went and got guys. I'm pretty sure Travis Hunter is going to be better than whoever played opposite Brian Thomas Jr. I feel pretty confident in that one. So at least they really made every effort to address the areas where we could all agree they were weak, right? Again, I'll say it again. I hope they're good at defensive tackle. That's the one spot they have yet to been able to address. And shame on anyone if you pick on them for that. If you've got 7 areas you got to address and you would do a damn good job of addressing 6, don't pick on them because they didn't address the 7th as much. You can only do so much.
Well, and their argument is Eric Armstead counts as an addition to the D tackle room.
Well, he does. He is an addition.
Right.
Well, we'll see. And by the way, they do like Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson and Tyler Lacey. They do think there's something there. I can tell you they think there's something there. I could have told you that before free agency or the draft. So yeah, I kind of and I also think most quarterbacks in the NFL, they hit their stride 5-6 years in, 4, 5, 6 years in. Trevor Lawrence is about to be in his 5th year. He's been under a number of offensive coordinators. You could say, well, that's bad. And there is some bad to it because you never know what offenses you're running. But it also is good because you understand what does and doesn't work. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think they might have a good team. Now, look, I said it last year this time. I said it the year before this time. I'm notorious for being that guy. I thought the Urban Meyer hire was going to work. Okay, so I know who I am. There aren't many areas that I'm not excited about watching now. I guess that's the point. I'm excited about watching the areas. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by what happens at running back. Is Travis Etienne gone?
No.
Yeah, he'll be here.
He'll be here.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think Tank Bigsby will be here.
Yes.
So I think the 2 running backs they had last year will be on the team this year.
Yeah, then you got your 2 rookies, and then Keelan Robinson's probably on the outside looking in.
Yeah, so I think they'll be here. I'm intrigued at what Brenton Strange will look like as their now main pass-catching tight end. I'm intrigued with what Brian Thomas Jr. on one side and Travis Hunter on the other side is going to look like. I'm intrigued to see if De'Ami Brown's everything they think he might be. They really like him.
And see, now I like that move way better.
Because he's not
because De'Ami Brown is now the third guy.
That's correct.
The third guy can catch 45 passes.
Right.
And that's fine, particularly if that average per catch is around 16.5, which I think it will be with De'Ami Brown in his, because again, he's incredibly fast.
Yeah.
So
the three receivers.
But I always thought that was for him to be the number 2 receiver, too big of a role. Yeah. That was too much of projection for me to feel comfortable with. Whereas with this, because obviously Brian Thomas Jr., superstar, Travis Hunter, I think the floor for him is he's one of the better number 2 receivers in the league. The ceiling is he might be a top 5 receiver in the NFL immediately.
And when we've watched teams with 2 guys, when we've watched Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, heck, in the first game of the year last year, we watched Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. When you see teams with 2 fast guys, I don't mean just 2 good players, I mean 2 fast guys. I was thinking about this the other day. When they go all their fast guys in the game together, it's a fast team all of a sudden. It has gone from being a team that probably lacked some team speed to a fast team.
Without a doubt.
Remember playing the playground, everybody go long? Remember that?
Yeah.
You've called that, right? Growing up in Bay Meadows, right there on the grade, when you were the all-time quarterback.
That's all we did, and the banana zig.
You called everybody go long, right? This team, that should be a play. Everybody go long. So I like what they've had. And listen, we've been disappointed enough. The schedule's funky. The way it fell is a lot of long trips. We talked about it yesterday. There's five. I was thinking about this. There's 5 flights that'll be a minimum of 3+ hours.
Yes.
There's 5. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of flights in today's air travel. And frankly, other than Denver, all 4 hours. Vegas, Phoenix, San Francisco, London are 4+ hours.
Mm-hmm.
Denver is probably almost 4. It's probably 3.5. So there's a lot of flights that are. I don't know how much that matters. But when you look at everything,
it matters.
I think it's got to matter some.
I think it's an intangible you have to look at.
Yeah.
Now, when we see the schedule May 14th, the first thing that we'll look to is, are they going back to back on any of these trips? I would like them to do that, but they may not. They may not have wanted it, and B, even if they wanted it and asked the league for it, the league may not have been able to acquiesce to the request. But it's definitely an intangible. But the other thing that we'll have to see, and hopefully this tilts it a little bit back towards their favor, at least in terms of being a neutral schedule, is the bye weeks. How many teams have a bye week before they play the Jaguars? And you hope that number is just, 1. But if it's 4 teams have a bye before they play the Jaguars, well, that's a disadvantage as well. So the schedule could certainly be difficult. What I will say about the road portion is, at least a lot of this is because they're playing the AFC West and the NFC West. Well, the Texans, Colts, and Titans all deal with that too. So everybody in the division is going to have a lot of travel with those games. The difference is the Jaguars also have the London game. And I'm not sure if any of the other 3 teams in the division are playing an international game. I don't think, at least at this point, that we know that they are, because I think all we know is the home teams, and I don't think any of these other clubs. So maybe they'll be the visitor, but regardless. So at least that is somewhat spread out among the division. But yeah, it'll be tough. This is the thing for the Jaguars. Don't worry about the wild card race. Just beat the Texans, Colts, and Titans, and you're going to be in the playoffs, and everybody's going to be thrilled. There's going to be a euphoria in this city once again, and that draft pick that you have to send Cleveland is somewhere in the 20s at a minimum, and that's if you just get in and get beat in your house in the wild card round. So it's all there. The division is, I think it's just about as pathetic as a division could be, and so go win it. The Texans should have never won the last 2, and so. I think it bodes well for the Jaguars now that they really seem to be a cohesive unit, and they have upgraded the talent. If Travis Hunter plays 800 offensive snaps and let's say 400 defensive snaps, he's going to be in the MVP conversation. There's no way around it. The workload is going to be so extreme, it's going to be one of the biggest stories, like Sunday Night Football. Before Sunday Night Football comes on, they're doing their pre-show, kind of recapping the day of football. What Travis Hunter did that day is going to be a story every week. I mean, we've never seen anything like this. So if he's able to stay healthy, and I think he's going to be a good player, I mean, that right there is just, you just don't know how that could affect a team. I mean, in an age of parity, a league of parity, Travis Hunter might be worth 2 or 3 wins. And if that's the case, with the other improving players that they have and a coach and a GM aligned, yeah, they could make noise.
All right, no question. So we'll talk more Jaguars. By the way, I want to tip of the cap right now. If you haven't listened to Hacker After Dark, Hacker does a fantastic job. By the way, he'll be in here with you on Friday. I'll be out on Friday, and then he'll be here with me next Monday and Tuesday while you're out, and then he's got a vacation coming up as well. So do you realize Hacker, and nobody works harder at interviews than he? I'm serious about this. Do you realize he got the head coaches of Navy, Virginia Tech, and Tulane to talk about those guys? Not an assistant, not the grad assistant, not the media relations guy, not the running backs coach. He got the head coaches at Navy, Virginia Tech, and Tulane in the last 2 or 3 days to talk about those draft picks. I mean, he busted.
That's phenomenal.
So tip of the cap, Hack. You're doing good work, brother, and I know how hard you work at that. So be listening to Hacker After Dark tonight. You've already heard some of those interviews. I think John Summerall tonight is the Tulane head coach. He had Caleb Ransaw. So one more time, tip of the cap to Hacker. You did a great job setting up those interviews. When we come back, other thoughts about the draft. I want to talk about the Shedeur thing. I want to talk about the Jeff Ulbrich thing or the Jax Ulbrich thing. Got a lot of things we want to talk about. I want to talk about quarterbacks and rookie quarterbacks and how they fare. That's coming up. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's truck season again at Nimnick Chevrolet, and this month you can save up to $12,000 off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 2.9%. Now, unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. And with their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. And available now, the all-new Silverado EV is designed to go the difference. The Silverado EV boasts 440 miles of range, more standard range than any competitor. And ask about low-rate financing and $7,500 instant cash savings on EVs. Remember, Nimnick will always give you top dollar for your trade, and for a limited time, up to an additional $3,000 in trade assistance. That is a great deal. So remember, who's got more Silverados at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. That's Nimnick Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Wonder what Dan Hicken would be doing if he wasn't on 1010XL?
I wanna kiss you all over.
Dan Hicken.
And over and again.
Mornings.
Dun, dun, dun.
On 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the trumpet call heard round the world. Experience the thrill of the Kentucky Derby at Best Bet. Saturday, May 3rd, witness the most exciting 2 minutes in sports and dive into the action with live wagering. This could be your lucky day. Mark your calendars and join us at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, or St. Augustine on May 3rd for the Kentucky Derby. Visit bestbetjacks.com for more details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Is your office productivity running at full speed? Advanced Business Solutions has the solution with Xerox copiers. Whether you need high-volume printing, scanning, or secure document management, Xerox copiers deliver efficiency, quality, and innovation. With features like cloud integration and mobile printing, Xerox is perfect for any modern office. Let ABS help you streamline your workflow. Veteran-owned Advanced Business Solutions.
Advanced Business Solutions.
1010XL celebrates high scorers.
1010XL and Southeast Orthopedic Specialists celebrate scholar athletes.
In class and on the court.
Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. Wednesdays on the Frangie Show.
Hacker here with an opportunity. Drop 40 pounds by the 4th. You can do it. I dropped my first 40 in 6 weeks. Hays did it, Dempsey, Ballou, and thousands of others have done it. 40 by the 4th. With Awaken180weightloss.com.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
I'm Liz Gruby, the Jacksonville Business Journal's events director, and on May 15th, we're shining a spotlight on young professionals who are boldly leading the way in business and making our major impact in our community. I'd love for you to join us for our 40 Under 40 Awards as we celebrate these up-and-comers and their achievements. Don't miss this inspiring afternoon of networking and celebration. Tickets are going fast. You have to get them before May 6th. And for more information and tickets, visit jbjevents.com.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville. I always brag on what you guys have on-road and off-road. But, Greg, tell everybody about what's happening on the water, because you got loads of opportunity.
We do. We've got lots of boats in stock. We got the Honda 19-foot Fisher Runabout. We've got the Coach pontoons, all of them with that legendary Honda motor and legendary Honda reliability, which you always want when you're out on the water.
You could be cruising along the Intercoastal or out on the ocean, but check it out. Facebook page ready for all of you to see, Cycles of Jacksonville, or their showroom on Atlantic near Regency.
For the greenest, luscious lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, Hammer Time with Hays. Driven by Southside Kia. Online at southsidekiajacks.com.
Oh, you did it? We got it? We're ready? We're back?
We're ready.
We're ready? Let's do it. I tell you, we were talking about the Houston Texans in our last break. Listen to this schedule that the Texans are going to face in terms of opponents, and I think you're going to feel a whole lot better about the Jaguars' chances to go win the AFC South. This is what the Texans have. Obviously, you know the division. They'll play the Jaguars, the Colts, and the Titans twice. But outside of that, the Houston Texans go to Baltimore, Kansas City, the Chargers, the Rams, and the Seahawks. Those are their 5 road games outside of what they face in the division. Baltimore won 12 games last year. The Chiefs won 15. The Chargers won 11. The Rams won 10. And the Seahawks won 10. Those are their 5 road games outside of the AFC South. And, of course, this is because the Texans are playing a first-place schedule. The Jaguars are playing a third-place schedule. The home slate isn't much better. The Texans get the Broncos. They also get the Bills, and they get Tampa Bay. Denver won 10 games. Tampa Bay won 10 games. The Bills won 13 games. They also get San Francisco at home, who could be much better than they were last year when they were ravaged by injury. So in looking at what Houston has, again, we'll know the order May 14th, but you can't just go ahead and write them in pen. is the AFC South champion. I mean, this slate is going to be brutal once we see how it lays out. Again, we talked about the Jaguar road trips that they have to take. Well, Houston's going to have to go to L.A. twice and Seattle. And again, going to Baltimore, going to Kansas City, you don't often get out of there with wins. So, yes, the Jaguar schedule will be tough. It will not be anywhere near what the Houston Texans face in 2025.
And that's the advantage. That first round, that first place schedule is a tough one. There's no question about it. Let's talk about some of the things that went on in the draft. I think Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator for the Falcons, should face a fine. I don't know how significant, $50,000 maybe. And you got a bunch of money. These guys have all the money. It's not like you're finding someone that can't afford to pay the fine. I don't blame him necessarily. He was careless. I blame the kid way more. The kid was childish prank. And I know other people got pranked too. But I think it sends a message. It sends a message of how important it is, how confidential those numbers have to be. If you are one of the privileged that have that number, you can't give it out. I'd fine him. And again, I feel bad for Jeff Ulbrich because sometimes your kid does something dumb and it wasn't your fault. But I think you have to send a message moving forward. I don't think it has to be something significant. I wouldn't suspend him from a game, but I'd fine him a financial amount to send a message moving forward more than anything else.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think it's too strong. His again, it's the son that did it is the culprit. He's the one that should bear the brunt of the scrutiny that's going to come with his decision. And obviously the league can't do anything to the kid. I say kid, he's in college. Right. He's a grown man. But I don't like the idea of Jeff Ulbrich facing a punishment for it. What I do like is, it would, if I was advising the Ulbrichs, it would be, why don't you make a donation to something that's important to Shedeur Sanders? Whether I'm sure he has some sort of organization that he's involved in, or at least is something close to his heart, and make a donation in Shedeur's name to that to show, some sincere remorse. And, I'd make the 21-year-old pay for it, whether that means he's got to get a job or whatever. But, I think something like that would make some sense. But I don't like the league fining an assistant coach over something that their kid ultimately was the one responsible for. Your solution probably is a better one, but I still hope they fine him. I don't think they're going to, by the way. I think that's just me, but I think at some point you send a message. I hear your point. How good do you think Shedeur Sanders will be as an NFL quarterback? I don't know that we'll ever find out. But I don't think he'll be good. You don't? Did you feel that way all along? Before the draft? I wasn't really. I really don't think any of them are going to be particularly great. But yeah, I didn't really see it with Shedeur. The show I might have been with Gus on Duval Rundown, but I mentioned last week I was like, I don't think he's going to be one of the top 4 quarterbacks picked. Right now, I didn't think he'd fall to the 5th round. Did you say that you thought yeah. four would go ahead of him? Yes. Okay. And so I wasn't really enamored with him. The further that we got into it, and again, so much in the NFL, it's about, your placement, where your starting position when you get into this league and compared to the other picks in your class. And I just think being a 5th round pick for the Browns, maybe he'll get an opportunity because they're certainly unsettled, but I don't know that we'll really ever see him, but I certainly don't think he's going to have a memorable NFL career. Yeah, I think he'll be okay. I don't know how good I think he'll be. There's a lot of quarterbacks who start for a lot of years, who are. There's a lot of Matt Hasselbacks in the league that get to say starting quarterback for 4, 5, 6 years. I think that I think Jackson Dart's going to be a good player. I really like him. I've told you, you've heard me say it a lot. Him, Garrett Nussmeier, who's still at LSU, I think are going to be really good players. So I'd be surprised if Dart's not pretty good. I think Cam Ward's going to be pretty good. I don't know about great, but I think he's going to be pretty good. I think Shedeur will be okay. I think Bucky Brooks said it perfectly on our show yesterday. He and Prime totally misplayed their hand.
there was a cockiness, there was an arrogance, there was a we're something special, you better treat us special, rather than I'm humbled and excited about being there. And I hope that's a lesson learned. And I don't know that he's got great arm strength. I don't know that he's wonderfully athletic. He's not particularly big. But I think he knows how to play quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. I think I don't think he'll be great. I thought Dart would go ahead of him. But I think he's going to be a pretty good quarterback. I think he's accurate. I like his throwing motion. Certainly he has some pressure. Didn't play great teams because he wasn't in the SEC or the Big Ten. But I thought I think he's going to be a good player.
Do you think he'll have as many or more starts as Gardner Minshew?
Yeah. No. But I think that is a good comp for what he could be.
Right. I just thought of a guy who's sort of.
Yeah. And I
well, Minshew had like a voodoo doll. Everything fell into place for him.
But I think he'll be as good a player as Minshew. Hayes does, and I do. I think he'll be that level of. I think he's going to be a good player. I don't know that he'll ever be good. I don't know that he's got the arm strength, the size to be a great player.
Will he work?
But and that
because now he's going to really have to.
Yeah, and by the way,
just to make the 53.
I'll tell you who. I certainly think he's got as much athletic ability as Brock Purdy. Okay, now. That I don't know. Work ethic, what the software is like, what kind of kid he is. I don't pretend.
How motivated.
The problem he's going to face is when you get to the NFL, everybody's at a different starting point. And if you're Cam Ward, you're going to get 2 full years before they even think about moving off of you. If you're a 5th round pick, even if you're going to an organization that doesn't have a quarterback, and Cleveland does not, but they will next year. They've got 2 first-round picks. And I've seen enough of these early mock drafts to know we may not know exactly where the specific player is going, but it's easy to see next year's got potentially a deep group of quarterbacks. So Cleveland's going to draft a guy next year. So basically what Shedeur Sanders has to do is somehow go from being a 5th-round pick who Cleveland looked like their GM and coach didn't even look like they were interested in taking.
Right.
He's got to unseat a veteran in Flacco. They also drafted Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, which is probably who Stefanski and Barry really, like. Yeah. So the coach and GM are probably more already gravitating to another rookie that they took a couple rounds ahead of you. I mean, it's going to be tough. And so if he doesn't get on the field this year, okay, now Cleveland is taking a quarterback very high, maybe at 1, but very high next year, and that player is going to be the week 1 starter. So I don't know how, barring, again, maybe he'll have some luck like Gardner Minshew had luck. Gardner Minshew arrives in Jacksonville as a 6th-round pick, and the starting quarterback breaks his clavicle 11 snaps into the year.
The other thing that happens,
and there you go.
But the other thing that happens, too, with quarterbacks is they play on 4 teams. I don't necessarily think he's going to be the Browns quarterback, win the job, and take them to the playoffs. I just think at some point he's going to be. We'll see. I think he's going to be a pretty good quarterback. Because I look at the guys drafted. I think Cam Ward's going to be a pretty good quarterback. I think Shedeur, and I don't think Shedeur is some great player, but I think he's going to be a pretty good quarterback.
I just worry about his opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, is he going to get a chance to show what he can do? And I don't know that he will.
Most quarterbacks in the league, I can't think of many times a quarterback's career has ended. And I thought, gosh, he was better. He just never got a chance.
Look at Hendon Hooker right now in Detroit. Yeah. He went in the 3rd round.
No, that's right.
2 years ago, and people were like, he is going to be. It's not going to take long.
I can't think for me of a guy that's 15 years later. I thought, gosh, that guy would have been a damn good quarterback if he'd have gotten a chance. Usually, somehow, they get to play some. They're not every.
Well, if he's great, he'll jump a lot of these guys quick. But so that's the thing. Is he great?
Yeah. So I don't think he's great. But I think he'll be a decent NFL quarterback. We'll see. I think Jackson Dart's going to be a decent NFL quarterback. I don't think Ewers has enough arm strength. I didn't see Tyler Shuck enough. I can't have a good feel for him. The guy I think Howard and McCord are very similar. I think they're Brock Purdy if they're good. They're forgotten if they're bad. I think they're that guy. They're C.J. Beathard if they're bad. They're Brock Purdy if they're good. I think that's kind of who they are. Ewers, I don't think. Gabriel, did not see enough of him. I don't have a good feel for him. Riley Leonard, I don't think is very good. I just don't think there's much arm strength there. The guy. So for me, I think Ward's going to be a good player. I think Dart's going to be a good player. For me, Shedeur Sanders is probably the one I like the most after those first 2. the one that intrigues me the most is Milroe. Because there's a side of me that thinks he's just not a very good passer. There's other side of me that think he's such a tough guy, such a good athlete, that there is some Jalen Hurts in there, you know? And now Jalen Hurts was a good passer in college for both places. So for me, Cam Ward, the best one of the group, Jackson Dart, the second one of the group. For me, I think Shedeur Sanders will be the next best one, and that's admitting I didn't see Tyler Shuck hardly at all.
And for Shuck, again, for a lot of these guys, it's opportunity. Yes, the Saints took him in the second round. The Saints are going to be horrible. I mean, horrible, I think, this year. And if the Saints are drafting high, they're going to take a quarterback. And so what does that do to Shuck? I mean, these teams are getting rid of quarterbacks quick. I mean, what happened to Will Levis in Tennessee, that's going to start becoming the norm. If you do not look like the answer, you're not going to get a lot of time to figure it out unless the organization took you at 1 overall. So, I mean, to me, it's Cam Ward, and then there's a massive gap to the next guys in terms of who could be good in the NFL. Now, again, a lot of that's environmental and the situation they're walking into. I think if I had to rank it, I'd say Cam Ward 1, although I don't think he'll be great. I don't think he'll get to a second contract in Tennessee. I would say Milroe 2, just because the running is so electric, and I like that. I like that situation for him in Seattle. I still don't believe Darnold is really the answer. So Milroe to me is somebody that could get on the field quick. And I mean, I guess then I'd go Dart, Shuck, McCord down the line. But I think it was a bad class, and I think it's going to be reflected in 3 years from now when I don't think any of these guys are going to be top 15 starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Yeah,
I do think there's somewhere there are more Brock Purdy's coming, drafted late, average athletic ability.
Next year's class could be special. Last year's class was special.
Yeah.
This year's class, I think, is a 0.
I do too. You don't like Jackson Dart at all either.
Not really.
Yeah.
Now, part of that is I think the Giants don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't think Jackson Dart will be the answer.
Do any of these most quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, a lot of quarterbacks, they flourish under third or fourth team.
Right.
I think this is a group that could do that. I think this is a group of guys that could do that. Final thing. I don't love rookie quarterbacks starting. J.J. McCarthy, who I think is going to be a rookie quarterback no matter what, even though he's technically a second-year guy, I think the Vikings messed that up. I think somehow, some way, whether it's Rodgers, whether it's keeping Darnold, I think the Vikings have a very good team, and I think they are going to miss a special season with magnificent receivers in a fantastic defensive coordinator and an athletic defense. And I think lack of quarterback play is going to hurt them. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger went to a Super Bowl as a rookie because the team was good all around him. He wasn't very good that year. He turned out to be a really good player, but he wasn't good as a rookie. I don't know that rookie young quarterbacks, your team's ever going to be, not ever, that's the wrong word, but very often going to be very good.
I would agree. I would say in this case, I trust Kevin O'Connell to get it right. So if he and the Vikings brain trust believe that McCarthy is ready, then I would have optimism that he's going to have a good year. I do think, to your point, it limits how great the Vikings can be with such an inexperienced quarterback. But, I mean, again, Patrick Mahomes played one game as a rookie. He started the final game of that season and then won the MVP his first year as a starter. Now, again, he's really
Mahomes,
special player. I mean, maybe the greatest that we'll have by the time his career's over. So I'm not suggesting J.J. McCarthy is that, but I think he could be a poor man's that in terms of his first year as a starter. He could give them 25 touchdowns and 9 picks. And if he's able to deliver that, then they've got a chance. Again, that's a really competitive division. If the Jaguars were in the NFC North, I'd be sitting here saying, well, they'll probably go 5-12.
Right.
But they're not. They're in the AFC South, and I think in that division they can win 10 or 11 games.
We'll take a break. We'll talk about some of these way too earlys. We'll talk about basketball recruiting a whole lot more. Got an hour to go. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Every game is a story.
And the game is tied.
Every play is a moment waiting to happen.
We're going to overtime.
Your home for the most play-by-play is 1010XL.
Fantastic
fantastic news here. Due to overwhelming response, Beard's Diamonds extending their amazing earring and bracelet sale for Mother's Day. Hicken here. So now through Mother's Day, you can still save up to 40% off diamond earrings and diamond tennis bracelets. It's Beard's most ambitious offer ever, and response has been incredible. The corporate-owned big box stores can't touch these prices. Beard's locally owned, man. Say hi to the Lupos when you go over there. The freedom to give you pricing you deserve. Highest quality diamond jewelry. Celebrate the mothers in your life with something they'll appreciate for decades to come. They also have special pricing on other Mother Day favorites, including colored gemstones, pearls, pendants, and fashion jewelry. Beard's Diamonds, your destination for making this Mother's Day truly special. Don't miss Beard's Diamonds' biggest sale ever. Up to 40% off Beard's already beatable value price. Now through Mother's Day at the Town Center. Only locally owned jeweler. It's Beard's Diamonds.
Lauren Brooks here. At Hodges Mazda, they are proud of their solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. As your hometown Mazda dealer, their high customer service standards and their huge inventory of new and used cars provide their customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Their professional non-commissioned sales team puts your best interest first without exception. And all new vehicle purchases include the Hodges Mazda Protection Package. Visit them online at HodgesMazda.com or stop in today to learn more and discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
Enhance your home with Renewal by Anderson's superior craftsmanship and timeless design. Right now, get $300 off all windows or $825 off patio doors. Plus, zero down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months, but this offer expires April 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
I open the door and take you inside the locker room to get you closer to the field, the players and coaches you care about.
Get a look at Hays' blog on 1010XL.com.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reese Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Slacker plumbing.
Yeah, hey, listen, I need a plumber over here right now.
Yeah, well, we don't have any openings for about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yep.
I was just changing the shower head and the water line broke and it's flying everywhere.
All right, 1 week.
What if I throw you an extra $100 to come now?
What's the address?
It's 205.
Oh, I guess he changed his mind.
If you've got a leak that can't wait a week, call Roland Reese Plumbing and fix your plumbing problems fast. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
If someone you love needs a pick-me-up, then it's time to get serious about it and send them a Kuhn floral arrangements. Dylan Denmark here with 1010XL. You'll be assured of a quality delivery, that's for sure. Log on and order online at kuhnflowers.com.
These days, it feels like everyone is talking about how the American dream of homeownership has become out of reach for so many of us. Well, Rocket is trying to give us more of a chance to own our homes. They're making homeownership simpler and more accessible to more people, turning renters into owners. Rocket believes that every one of us deserves a shot at the American dream. So, are you ready? Own the dream. Visit rocket.com. That's rocket.com.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. When the Jaguars traded up to select Travis Hunter, general manager James Gladstone sent a message to the team, as well as the city, that a talent like this does not come around often and that the new staff will go above and beyond to bring the best pieces out there to Jacksonville, giving the team their best shot at success in recent memory. Gladstone's words to describe Hunter at his introductory press conference were captivating, describing what he's capable of.
Travis Hunter, he embodies belief, right? He's a rare person. He's a rare player. But he's also a reminder that the boundaries of the game of football were built to be challenged. And so the decision to select him was actually a statement for how we plan to move, who we are, and we want him to be nothing more than him.
It's 80 degrees at 5:05. Time and Temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Nimnick Tuesday on The Frangie Show. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941.
Man, they do a great job at Nimnick. Love heading to Nimnick Chevrolet on Caston Avenue or on near Park. Nimnick Buick GMC's on Phillips Highway. They are the best place to go, man. I'm telling you. They treat you right. The salespeople aren't pushy. They're just good, solid salespeople. They stand behind their deals. They treat you right after the sale, not just before it. And I've been buying my cars there a long time. The name to know is Nimnick. Nobody but Nimnick treats you the way they do at Nimnick. Head there today. Frangie Carlyon, LaSelva with you.
We've got some breaking news.
Love it.
So Gannon Burt, who was Florida's long snapper, got into the portal.
Okay.
So he just committed to North Carolina. So I'm assuming Jordan Hudson accepted the commitment, which is big for Gannon Burt and his football pedigree.
So is there really a Gannon Burt?
There is a Gannon Burt, and he just tweeted out a picture with him and Belichick saying committed. I had no idea who he was.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, University of Florida transfer long snapper. Okay, that's interesting. I had no idea who he was. It basically was just a feeble attempt on my part to make light of.
But I love it.
Belichick's overbearing goal.
Yeah, but beyond that, don't they have like the good center guy? Don't they have a good deep snapper guy?
Yeah,
Rocco or Rocky or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think he's gonna lead him to the national title.
Yeah, I think Florida's fine, but yeah. So we have Belichick celebrating.
Let me just say this before you two are
getting a long snap.
Okay, let me stop.
Out of the portal.
Let me just stop right now while America's listening. You're kind of the Belichick guy now. Okay,
I know.
So I'll hold you responsible. Or
I'm concerned. I'll be honest.
Let me just say this.
I almost feel like I'm seeing a personal friend disintegrate in front of me.
I either blame you for the girlfriend or give you credit for the girlfriend.
Blame me.
Okay. I mean, you're the Belichick guy.
Yeah.
Okay. You're Belly's guy. I mean, you're the
I had
agent.
no idea that he had lost his mind like he has. Yeah. It's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. And he's taking Florida backup long snappers and then taking a picture with them online.
Gannon Burt.
Yeah, Gannon Burt. Welcome.
Okay.
Great to be a Tar Heel.
The Gators they're hosting this guy Desmond Claude. I'm going to basketball now. This 6'6" guy from USC. Okay, I watched tape. So by the way, someone said something exactly right. I don't remember who it was on Twitter. Someone said when someone says they watch tape, they really don't. What it means is they watch highlights on YouTube. That's what it is.
Yeah, we're not trying to pretend that we're.
I'm not breaking down the all 22 or the all 10. But anyway, so I'm watching this guy Desmond Claude. He's a really good player. Is Florida going to get him? I mean, if Florida gets...
He's visiting, and Golden's track record has been pretty good.
It's a weird...
You get on campus. I thought it was really interesting what A.J. Brown said. His dad, and I apologize, I forgot the media outlet, but told a reporter, he was like, the presentation that Todd Golden and his staff did analytically on how my son would fit in with that offense. It blew us away.
Wow.
It was second to none. And so, if Golden's got a good track record, if he can get you on campus, so I think they've got a good chance.
Well, the other two schools are North Carolina and Kansas.
Right.
And so
money obviously is
so
going to be a factor.
But I watched this. It's a weird. He's got a weird game. He's 6'6", a 6'6" guard, kind of a point guard, almost point forward guy sometimes because he plays the 3-2, but he plays a guard. But he never shoots. He's like most guys today all shoot 3-pointers. He almost. I watched probably 2.5 minutes of highlights because my life is that boring. Okay, and I never saw him take a 3-pointer. I've never seen, unlike A.J. Brown,
right,
who they just signed, who does nothing but take 3-pointers.
And Zaven Lee, that was a big part of that 8.5 minute beauty of a clip on YouTube.
Yeah. So good. I'm glad your life is boring too. That made me feel better. But the point of this is, apparently Golden's on this Field of 68 thing like you watched,
podcast,
and it made it sound like Condon's coming back.
Yes,
which I think Condon's coming back. Yeah, and I think Chinyulu's coming back. And he said Houck's going to play the 3, which, by the way, there's a little pause. There's some teams you can't play 3 big guys against because they're really quick and you got to defend. He loves to play man defense. But my point is they get this guy. Maybe the all too early's had him 19th. They're going to start. If Condon's back, they're going to start in the top 5, top 6 again.
They should. I mean, I don't know.
Has Florida gotten to a point where that little football season is just something that tied you over?
I tell you what,
just tied me over. Just get me to October when they start practicing basketball. Is that what's happened?
I will say this: we're 3 weeks removed from the title game, and none of the elation is worn off.
No, and none. And by the way, you know as well as I have. You've popped on YouTube and watched the last 5 minutes against Texas Tech.
I watched the last 2 minutes of Houston like last night.
It's so bad. Me too. So I mean, it's interesting stuff. So hey, we're in one quick note before we get to headlines. Random thought. I turned on last night the hockey game. I don't care about hockey, but everyone's talking about the Panthers and Lightning. Have you heard Sean McDonough, dude?
He's fantastic.
I think
he might be the best.
He might be the best one going
of anybody.
I'm telling you, he might be the best play-by-play guy going right now of any sport. And I'm not even a hockey guy. I think Sean McDonough, and I love Buck. And then people don't love Buck. I love Buck. Okay, I love Nance, although Nance does less now. There's nobody that doesn't love Tirico. Tirico and Collinsworth, Nance and Romo, Buck and Aikman are fantastic teams. They're all fantastic teams. I don't think Burkhardt and Brady are as bad as people think. So we have some good teams. Sean McDonough might be better than all of them. He might be the best play-by-play guy working today.
I don't know if that's because I don't know hockey all that well
Same.
at all, but Jean obviously is a big Panthers fan, and that's sort of something that her and her son John have. So like the Panthers are playing last night. If the Panthers are playing, like she's texting John, throughout it. So you can't help but get pulled into that, and it's really enjoyable to watch. Now again, I don't know hockey at all, but so I don't know if that's part of it. But he is brilliant. I started, noticing it really last year when the Panthers went and won the Stanley Cup. And, I think he's fantastic.
It seems like one of the harder sports to do.
Yeah,
it's got to be, doesn't
now,
it?
Again,
the lines are always shifting. There's different guys in and out constantly. It's so fast-paced.
That's a great point.
It's hard to even see the puck.
Right.
Yeah. And
I've told her, like, I don't know if that's because I don't know the sport that well, whereas if it's like football, I kind of tune all those guys out. Not to say that I'm like some, football genius, but I just have watched so many hours of football that I have a basic understanding of what I'm seeing.
And in conjunction with the fact that he's good at everything.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really good at we had him on about a year. Was it a year ago, 2 years ago? When we had him on, and he has this great memory. And I can tell you that everybody remembers the Skip Carey call of the Sid Bream slid, okay, because they're Braves fans around here. But Sean McDonough had the national call on CBS at the time, and CBS was doing baseball at the time, we had him on the air. I don't know if you remember this. It was in this studio. We had him on the air. I say, Sean, you broke my heart because I'm a diehard Pirates fan. He goes, sorry about that. And I said, But you also gave me a very happy moment because I'm also a Gator fan. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but he didn't bat an eye.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He said, Jack was green. Do you remember
Green's
that?
behind the defense.
Green's behind the defense. I mean, he remembered immediately what we were talking about. So, I mean, of all the games he called, he remembers this play of Florida State in 1997.
Well, that's one that I can see that would be tough to.
I guess you're right. You would remember that. Yeah. But I
mean, even objectively, that was an unbelievable college football game.
It was. But I will tell you, Sean McDonough, I think, is the best, might be the best play-by-play guy going right now.
Yeah, I agree. He's fantastic, and it's for somebody who doesn't know the sport. I mean, it's a lot of fun having him on the call.
We'll take a break. When we come back, Hays has headlines. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Perfect passes.
Great pass.
Thrilling moments.
Did that just happen?
Winning plays.
Touchdown!
Your radio home for play-by-play. 1010XL.
Are you struggling with hair loss? At IHRS, we understand because we've been there too. We're dedicated to finding the best solution tailored just for you.
My hair looks great. It was thinning, and IHRS restored my hair.
It's now fuller, it's thicker, voluminous. It's made me feel great.
With the latest technology and FDA-approved laser therapy, PRP, and non-surgical hair addition, we offer guaranteed solutions for men and women. With over 35 years of experience, IHRS found a hair restoration for us, and we can find one for you.
For me.
For me.
And me too.
Visit hairforme.com or call 904-777-IHRS. Get a free microscopic analysis and get to the root of your problem. This $395 analysis is yours for free. Call 904-777-4477 now.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
The Sawgrass Marriott Golf Resort and Spa is the perfect place for indulging in a pampering spa treatment. This Mother's Day season, give the gift of wellness with a gift card and take advantage of the spa's current promotion. Buy a $75 gift card or more and guests get a credit towards a future service. With healing massages, revitalizing facial treatments, and more, a day at the Sawgrass Spa makes a perfect gift for everyone. Purchase in person at Sawgrass Spa during operating hours.
Welcome to ABS Advanced Business Solutions, your local authorized technology partner and home to Xerox copiers.
Advanced Business Solutions.
What's the weekend in sports look like? I'm 1010XL's Dan Hicken, and I'll give you my takes and weekend updates on YouTube and Facebook. Musings with the media mogul. That's right, motivated by Tucker Equipment Rentals in Neptune Beach.
Tailgaters parking season passes are on sale now. Secure your Jaguar season parking today. Enjoy indoor restrooms, a full-service bar and grill, access 4 hours before kickoff. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and book your space today.
The aroma, flavor, the bliss. Nothing matches a great cigar, and now you can indulge yourself with My Father's Cigars. Come to Tobacco Cove on Saturday, May 3rd from 1 to 4 p.m. for an incredible cigar event featuring food, drinks, and specials on cigars. This is your chance to embrace the joy of My Father's Cigars at Tobacco Cove on Bay Meadows Road. More than a cigar store, it's an experience.
Hey, it's Matt Hays here with a challenge. A challenge might not be the best choice in words, so let's say an opportunity.
Take the opportunity to lose 40 by the 4th with Awaken 180. It sounds a little different when you put a real goal to it, doesn't it? Maybe you looked at the scale this morning and it read 230 pounds. How about a reading 190 by the 4th? Maybe the scale says 300. Wouldn't the number 260 be a little nicer on your eyes and on your joints? It's attainable if you have the same results we all had with Awaken 180. I dropped 40 pounds in 9 weeks. Hacker dropped his first 40 in just 6 weeks. Dempsey, Blue, and everyone else I know, same results. And we've kept it off. The best thing about Awaken 180 weight loss, it will completely change the way you think, see, and feel about food. The results are real, attainable, and the process simple with Awaken 180. Take the opportunity and drop 40 by the 4th. It all starts with just one call to Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Call 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and $2.95.
Neck pain, back pain, or headache. Shinatri Chiropractic has 4 locations: West Side, 103rd, Riverside, Arlington, and the Beaches. Acupuncture, dry needling, physical therapy. Relief starts today. Shinatri Chiropractic, 743-6700.
Looking for comfort with who you work with? Remember, Florida Home AC only hires the best. Background checks and drug screenings for all their technicians, so you can be confident when you choose Florida Home AC. Exceptional services, they're guaranteed at Florida Home AC.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harold & Harold. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. We've got Frank Frangie, JJ LaSelva. I am Hays Carlyon. Thank you to our friends at Harold & Harold. Give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, we're going to start with a piece the Athletics' Mike Silver wrote on the Jaguars draft. He was with the Jaguars behind the scenes for all 3 days. In fact, Silver was on Helmets and Heels earlier today. But this story is fantastic. It's very detailed in the Jaguars process. I'll just mention one of the things I found interesting, but there's multiple. At pick 70, the Jaguars were looking at UCF running back R.J. Harvey and Louisville edge Ashton Gelati. Those two guys obviously were off the board. They traded back, but it was interesting kind of the debate that Silver observed and wrote about. And he also mentions in the article that Tony Baselli had a, quote, draft crush on LSU offensive tackle Emory Jones.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah. I can't wait. I have not read. I heard it's very good. And I know Mike was on with the ladies today on Helmets and Heels. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I will. But, yeah, he was in the draft room the whole time. And Mike's a legendary writer. Sports Illustrated all those years, and I have not read it yet, but I can't wait to go on it.
Yeah,
I will read it tonight and be able to comment.
Yeah, if you have access to it, I would recommend Jaguar fans definitely check that out. I think you'll really appreciate your new brain trust. Definitely a well done story. The Jaguars have parted ways with assistant general manager Ethan Waugh, according to multiple reports. Waugh was Trent Baalke's top lieutenant, but I'll say this for him. If this administration ends up bringing good times to the Jaguars consistently, remember Ethan Waugh, because he should be remembered fondly if this group does win. He was critical in helping Shad Khan guide that crazy 24-hour sequence where Liam Cohen was interested in the Jaguars job, then backed out, wanted to return to Tampa, and then kickstarting that back required a savvy, front office executive. So credit to Ethan Waugh. Hopefully he bounces back somewhere in the NFL. But he might be an underrated, real good guy if the Jaguars turn this thing around under this administration.
I'm glad you said that. I said this at the time Trent Baalke was fired, when Ethan Waugh was one of the guys being considered for the job. Whether he was going to get the job or not, don't just assume he was Trent Baalke 2.0. And I'm not trying to rag on Baalke when I say this. I'm just saying, don't assume that he's the same guy, thinks the same way. That would be inaccurate. He's a respected guy, respected in the building, respected personnel guy, respected in NFL circles. And it would be a mistake to dismiss him just because he was Baalke's right-hand guy. So I'm glad you said all that, and I think Ethan will land in a good place.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get it to the NFL draft. The Athletics' Dane Brugler has released his draft grades. He had the Patriots number 1. In terms of the AFC South, he had the Titans 8th, the Jaguars 17th, the Texans 24th, and the Colts 27th. So he really didn't like what Houston or Indianapolis did, which would be great for the Jaguars if that in fact ends up being true. And he had the Vikings dead last in the NFL in terms of his draft grades. So sort of interesting there. The Vikings only had 2 picks in the first 4 rounds. So that was obviously went into a lot of how Brugler did his grades, and the Jaguars obviously didn't have a second-round pick.
Look, there's mixed feelings nationally about what the Jags did. I love what they did. I think they need stars, and I think Travis Hunter's going to be very good. But there's other people we've all followed. We follow the talking heads. We read the stories. There are some people that believe, A, you can't play both ways in the NFL. B, you never trade a pick that high for anything other than a quarterback, and a proven quarterback that you're very confident in. So it was a bold move. It was unconventional. And when you do things that are unconventional, people sometimes criticize it. James Gladstone knew that the minute he did it. He knew the minute he did it, people are going to say, what are you doing? You're giving up next year's 1 and this year's 36 for a wide receiver defensive back. We're not even sure he can play both at the same time in the same game or whatever. So I knew there'd be. I love what they did, and I'm very confident in the whole draft. But I would have expected criticism. I bet you would have too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I bet James would have too.
Yeah, particularly when a lot of times it's what do these guys base the grade on? And a lot of it is, if you didn't have a second round pick, that's going to be reflected. And because, you're going up against many teams that did. So, but yeah, I think when these drafts are regraded 3-4 years down the road, I think the Jaguars will be very high because I think Travis Hunter is going to be a superstar in the NFL. And it's really that simple. Speaking of him, Frank, you pointed this out yesterday as we were getting off the air. Travis Hunter has the best-selling jersey of all the rookies. How about that? So a little extra incentive and benefit for the Jaguars in making that selection.
Well, what that means is that he's really likely to be a star. To a point you've been making all along. It's not a great class for quarterbacks. It's not a great class for stars. If you start looking at the high picks, Ashton Genty could be a star. He's a running back. But if you look at the guys that went high, the 4th pick was an offensive lineman.
Not a lot of skill players.
No, the 5th pick was a defensive lineman. And neither one of those, and the defensive lineman's not an edge who's going to come off the edge and have 15 sacks and be in a bunch of commercials. So if you look at the fact, right, JJ, there weren't skilled players. There weren't a lot of stars. Cam Ward might be a star. If he's good, he will be. Travis Hunter's a star. I mean, he won the Heisman Trophy. I mean, he's the most talked about guy in the draft. So, that jersey's going to sell like crazy, and good for him, good for them.
CBS Sports has a way too early 2026 mock out. It has Arch Manning going to the Saints with the number 1 pick. This surprised me. Caleb Banks 4th.
Yeah.
Now, again, this means very little, but it's interesting to see the Florida defensive tackle who ended up returning to Florida and putting off the draft, getting that kind of buzz. I don't know that he's that kind of a player, but if Caleb Banks goes in the top 5 of this coming draft, the Gators will be in the playoffs.
I've seen through a bunch of way too earlys. That one, the CBS one, has Caleb Banks 4th overall. He's going to be a really good defensive tackle. He's going to go very high. Brugler's, I think, had Austin Barber, the former Trinity Christian, the left tackle, 9th overall from Florida, and Sapp, the defensive end, in the first round. So 3.
I've also seen the center.
Slaughter, yeah.
Slaughter. So 4 different Florida linemen have been mocked in somebody's first round for next year, which is a great sign, whether they're right or not.
Right.
The fact that they have that many linemen that people know is a good sign.
I would imagine that hasn't happened since Urban Meyer was running things in Gainesville.
You got to believe it.
So, yeah, from a talent standpoint, Florida could be in good shape. We will see how it goes on the sideline for the Gators. George Kittle has an extension, 4 years, $76.4 million for the San Francisco tight end. So the 49ers had to cut a lot of guys to get in cap compliance. George Kittle gets a reward, and we expect Brock Purdy will be next in line.
I could pull off the Kittle haircut. I might do it.
Yeah, that'd be
really
good.
It's sort of a mullet because it's long in the back, but it's shaved on the side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can you imagine me with that? Oh, would I be rocking or what?
You know, by week 1, you could have that probably.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I got to get to work right now.
Yeah. In college football, we talked about this DJ Lagway video of him throwing Denny Thompson in the video catching passes. I know you've been worried.
Yes.
Did that ease your concerns a little bit?
Well, let me just say this, okay? I recognize that was Denny on the catch because I've thrown to Denny. Let me tell you 2 people that have thrown to Denny. Can I tell you 2?
Sure.
Lagway, me. 2 good Gators. I've both thrown to Denny. But people didn't, when I first saw it, I was wondering how many people know that's Denny catching that. And so it did ease my concerns a little, by the way, because he was zipping it.
Yeah.
You know, look, if DJ Lagway is a rifle-armed, high-percentage passer, look out for what that team will be this year. So, yes, it eased my concerns. How about yours, too?
Absolutely.
I felt...
he can tweet out a video every day throwing the football.
And hey, Denny, nice catch. It was a little high. Denny went up and got it. Denny,
he did.
Listen.
Catch radius.
Denny's not the tallest guy, okay? But he went up and got it. That was fantastic.
Absolutely.
The best part was Denny, he was on with the Primetime Boys, and he said, hey, did you see the video? And Denny said, yes.
I'm in it.
I'm in it. Right? That's awesome.
Hey, Tom Cruise, have you seen Mission Impossible? Yes, I have. In the world of college basketball, Todd Golden said on the Field of 68 podcast that Thomas Houck will start at small forward next season for the defending national champions, assuming Alex Condon returns. That would give UF one of the nation's biggest lineups, and it looks like Alex Condon will return, considering Todd Golden then showed him in the video as he was doing the podcast.
My guess is Chinyelu and Condon will be back. You know, Longton and Houck will be there. Houck will start at the 3 so they can start 3 of their big guys. Xavier Lee looks like a really good point guard for them. They got this guy, Claude, that's in there now. Look, Desmond Claude. They're going to be one of the best 4 or 5 teams in the country next year. They won the national championship, and their bigs are all back. And they got a really good guard and maybe 2 coming in. They won the national title. This is going to be... You might get tired of the Gator basketball thing. You might, I got to believe if you're not a Florida fan, you were so sick of this whole Florida basketball thing, all the dynamic games at the end, the river cruise. Frank won't shut up. You know, I mean, I got to believe right now you're tired of me, you're tired of you, you're tired of all of it. But you're going to have to endure it for a while because this thing ain't going anywhere.
It doesn't appear that way.
Frangie talking about that river cruise again. Shut up.
ESPN's Joe Lunardi has released his first bracketology. He has the Gators as a 3 seed playing in Tampa. So that's kind of cool that Tampa has a pod in the first and second round next year if the Gators are good enough to get that kind of a seed. Lunardi has 13 SEC teams overall. The 1 seeds are Purdue, Houston, Duke, and St. John's. But to your point, once the Condon thing is official and he's back, even if Florida really doesn't do much else in the portal, you have to think they're going to be top 5 on pretty much all of these lists.
Let me ask you this question here on a Tuesday afternoon here on the First Coast. Everywhere I look, Houston's first, second, first, second. Houston. Didn't we beat that ass? I mean, did I miss something? Did I have a bad view while there in Texas?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I agree.
I mean, I'm posing a question.
Well, I think, again, it goes back to you're used to seeing that Houston logo high because they've been very good for the last 5 or 6 years. You're not used to seeing that Gators logo high, and I think it's been hard for the pundits to get over. But
all I'm telling you is I was still in the arena for one shining moment, and their shining moment's butt was in the locker room.
Yes.
Okay, just so they were good.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get it to the...
Thank you for indulging me.
Yeah, no problem. Let's get it to the NBA. Boy, the Cavs embarrassed the Heat, 138-83 in a sweep. They won 4 games by a record 122 points. That's a shock. You know, the Heat, you think, have played with this grit and culture, and they just no-showed. And by the way, Barkley and company were fantastic, just destroying the Heat for just totally quitting.
Your boy Tyler Hero, 4 points last night.
Your guy. He's one of my favorite players. I'll say this. I don't like, we have this talk enough. We don't follow the NBA, you and I, very much. But that series is more about the Cavs than the Heat got through the play-in. The Heat got in.
They lost Butler this year.
Yeah. And the Cavs are really good. They might, the Cavs might beat Boston. The Cavs might win the whole damn. The Cavs might win the whole damn thing. They may beat Boston in the East. They're really good. No one's gonna like it if it's Oklahoma City and Cleveland because you don't know anybody and you don't know the logos, you don't know the brands, you can't even name the arenas. But they both have really good teams. I think that's more about Cleveland than it is about Miami.
Adam Silver might jump off a bridge.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he would. But
I'd love it.
But it might happen.
Yeah, it might. The Warriors take a 3-1 lead over the Rockets with a 109-106 win. JJ, is that one over? You think Golden State's safe now?
Yeah, I mean, they've really been pulling it out of their ass, Golden State, the last 2 games. But that's what veteran teams do, man. Like, even when Steph was not on it last night, Jimmy Butler was, Podzimski, or however you say his name, was great. Yeah, I'm not shocked that they won that series. I picked them before, but they're pretty dominant so far. I think they'll probably win in 5 games. I was surprised by that.
Lots of action tonight in the NBA. The Nuggets host the Clippers with that series tied at 2. That should be the best game.
Yeah.
Then there's 3 other games where the favorite can close it out. Orlando's going to try and stay alive against Boston, but the Magic are down 3-1. The Knicks and Pacers can both close out their respective series. So Nuggets, Clippers, any interest tonight watching that one?
I'll say this. I don't know if I'll watch it. I don't know if I'll watch it in its entirety. But the way the Nuggets won last game with the dunk, with the Low Charles-like dunk, as you called it, yeah, a little bit of interest. But I'll say this. Once these rounds are over, the next rounds are going to be good.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we are headed.
I'm close to locking in.
Yeah, I'm close
because I'm watching, but I haven't watched start to finish of any game. But I've watched sections of many games.
Yeah,
and I can tell. Like I once it gets good.
Yeah, me too.
I like it. It's entertaining.
Good.
It's just got to get good.
Yeah, and I think we're getting closer.
Yeah.
I think and give the league. I thought you needed LeBron and Luka. Well, you don't. They're going to be out. And
you don't think they can come back?
Not down 3-1.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
JJ, you give the Lakers any hope?
I do. The next game's at home, and they do have Luka and LeBron. I don't think they will, but I think it could get to 7. Honestly, I think they could win the next 2.
Yeah, I don't.
The refs are going to be on the LA side for sure. In the next.
Now that you would think. I will say this. It does look like Steph's going to stick around a little longer. So I thought we may be without all of them. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will. We will get you out on our musical note of the day. We are honoring artists voted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame over the weekend. We're starting with Warren Zevon, one of the most influential songwriters of his generation. Zevon died of mesothelioma in 2003 at the age of 56. This is a classic, Werewolves of London.
I love Warren Zevon, and I love this song. I mean, it's a fantastic. And you're right, by the way. He doesn't get his due as one of the great songwriters.
Oh, yeah.
A really, really good point. Well done, as always.
Thank you.
Back to wrap the program after this.
Gonna get a big dish of beef chow mein.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Some players' futures in Major League Baseball. Aaron Judge, a betting favorite to lead the year in home runs. He's at plus 105. The Dodgers' Shohei Ohtani plus 500. Mike Trout of the Angels plus 1,000. Fernando Tatis Jr. of the Padres plus 1,200. Bobby Witt Jr. of the Kansas City Royals, a betting favorite to lead the season in hits. He is at plus 400. Stephen Kwan is at plus 450. Luis Arraez at plus 850. Philadelphia Phillies pitcher Zach Wheeler is the betting favorite to lead the league in strikeouts at plus 360. Paul Skeens of the Pittsburgh Pirates plus 500. Garrett Crochet of the Red Sox and Tarek Skubal of the Tigers both plus 700. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Got a leaky faucet, AC blowing hot air, a funky smelling septic tank? No worries, Duck Duck Rooter has your back. We're your one-stop shop for plumbing, septic, and air conditioning, so you can stop juggling 3 companies and just make one easy call. Our expert techs are fast, friendly, and really know their ducks. I mean stuff. Call 904-862-6769 or visit duckduckrooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter, plumbing, septic, AC, and a whole lot of quacking good service.
Are you ready to step up to luxury?
Check out the power of our exciting 2025 lineup, including the Lyric, IQ, Optique, and the stunning Vistique.
With over 15 electric Cadillacs in stock and more on the way, it's the perfect time to trade in your Tesla and embrace luxury with a twist.
At Randy Marion, there are no tariffs. So visit Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville, and see why our electric lineup turns heads.
Don't miss out. Drive Cadillac, electric or gas. We have both. Plus tax tag title $9.99 admin fee and resist all on approved credit.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. South State has helped our businesses and charity grow and thrive. Whether you're expanding your operations, managing cash flow, or planning for the future, South State Bank offers forward-thinking, tailored solutions to meet your unique business needs. With expert guidance and best-in-class service, South State is here to help you move your business forward. Visit southstatebank.com or stop by your local branch today. Let South State become your partner in taking your business to the next level. That's South State Bank, member FDIC.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Who are these new names and how can they help?
Tell me his name again.
Listen for 1010XL draft profiles fired up by Wicca Candle Bar and River City Screens. Roll through the offseason with AA Automotive and 1010XL.
Beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking by calling our heroes at Zero Res. This month, get Zero Resified from Jacksonville's #1 carpet cleaner. You'll get 25% off all cleaning services. That's right, 25% off. Check out 8,000 raving customer reviews if you don't believe me online. Call them, 904-287-5727, or visit their website, ZeroResJacksonville.com. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean. Zero Res.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. While we've earned the reputation as North Florida and South Georgia's preeminent official Rolex jeweler, it's important to point out that at Underwoods we carry other watches too. We start with Seiko, the most reliable, serviceable watch made for under $500. And they've started making jeweled, self-winding watches again, and sports watches you'd have to see to believe. Next we have Tavan, the Swiss-made ladies and men's and dress and sport watches, and they start at $575. Another name we carry is Tudor, inspired by Rolex with the same founder and owner, the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation. And their sport watches and chronographs are the rage in Swiss timekeeping, with new in-house watch movements and exciting new model introductions every year. So if you're interested in watches, we have what you want at Underwoods, and all of our watches carry a 5-year warranty. At Underwoods, in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
At Performance Painting, we've spent decades protecting commercial properties with durable, long-lasting coatings. And we can bring the same expertise when painting the exterior of your home. With industry-leading materials and a proven process, we extend the life of your home, reducing maintenance costs and preserving its value. Now, for a limited time, save $500 when you hire us to paint your home's exterior. Just mention 1010XL. Go to performancepainting.com to schedule a friendly estimate. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. The housing market is as busy as ever on the First Coast. And if you've moved in or moved on, make sure you have a team of trained electricians ready to help. American Electrical can make sure you're up to date electrically and maximize your living experience. Smart home automation services, home theater systems, outdoor and dock lighting, and backup generators. American Electrical can do it all. A team you can trust with highly trained technicians ensuring you have the best living experience. American-Electrical.com, a leader on the First Coast and powered by professionalism.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. Terminix stops termites in my home fast. These destructive pests may have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so does Terminix. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem. I certainly wasn't going to. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. Terminix.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jacks cool since '87.
All right, where have we been today on the program? We said hello to Haley Hines. She is our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week, the last one of the year from Paxton, a terrific softball pitcher. She's going to be pitching tonight against Fernandina Beach in softball. They beat them once before. She struck out 14 and threw a one-hitter. Well, now's the rematch. So Haley was delightful. It was great getting to meet her. She's from Paxton. And she is a wonderful student on her way to Southern University to play softball. So congratulations to Haley, and we wish her the best. We talked a little about the Jags draft. What kind of a team do they have now? We talked about Shedeur Sanders and the prank. We talked a little bit about that. We talked about college basketball a little on the program as well. We talked about rookie starters in the NFL. That's where we've been on the course of this Nimnicht Tuesday. And we certainly did enjoy talking about all that. By the way, did you see where this? I didn't get to that. I have it. This is on my notes. So the UFL's got a guy named Samson Nakua. Is he Puka Nakua? Is it his brother Nakua?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. He slapped a fan.
Yeah. Is that frowned upon?
Samson.
Should I have not done that?
Samson Nakua slapped the fan.
Not good.
What are you doing, Samson?
Yeah, not good.
I just can't imagine a fan being so upset at a UFL game that he said something so heinous to get a man to slap him.
Well, I'm guessing when you have 112 fans there, you hear everything they say, right? So
good point.
By the way, and look, I applaud. I got excited one last time when the whatever league came around that Spurrier was coaching in.
Oh yeah,
the one
UFL.
Orlando.
Yeah.
Well, they all run together. The AAFL, the AFL, the AFL-CIO.
What was the name of his team? I don't even remember.
It was Orlando, the Apaches or
I can't.
I don't know.
Apollos.
Apollo.
Right to be an Apollo.
Apollo. God smiling on the Apollos. But that was the last time I can remember. Suzanne and I were on vacation. I don't want to remember this. We were on vacation in Vermont. And everyone was excited. Remember, we were excited about because those of us who grew up in Jacksonville loved spring football so much. We didn't have the NFL, and the Jacksonville Bulls were so much fun.
Absolutely.
I mean, and before that, the Tampa Bay Bandits. And I just can't explain how much fun that league was until Donald Trump, the owner of you've heard of him.
Oh, yeah.
The owner of the New Jersey Generals, tried to take him to the fall, and it failed. And so, but now we've tried. It's now, and I know they combined the two, and Fox is behind it, but we tried. I think now, don't you kind of almost have to shut it down now?
I guess.
We had two of them last year, and they competed with each other. And
what?
I'm surprised TV networks still keep signing up, but it must be so cheap.
Well, that and it's football.
It's content.
There's still this, correct, but there's still this belief that no matter what else is out there, football will trump it. Well, what we've learned is spring football won't. Spring football is not going to trump the Masters. It's not going to trump baseball. It's not going to trump the NBA playoffs.
There has to be stakes.
Yeah.
There has to be someone has to care about the outcome.
Yeah, and
you can't just create fandom out of nothing.
I mean, should they run the league just an abbreviated 6 weeks and do it after mandatory minicamp?
That's what you and I see. You and I had this. We've had this talk before. Quit playing it now. Play it the one time the NFL does go away, which is June and early July. The one time they're gone is June and early July. Play it then, and I will tell you, those Jacksonville Bulls games and Tampa Bay Bandits games, they were in the summer, and it was summer football. It was early summer football, and for whatever reason, because these leagues link themselves to the NFL, they want the NFL to have earlier time to evaluate and whatnot. But the only way it would work, we had this talk. The only way it would work is to really play 6 weeks, middle of May till the 1st of July.
Yeah, did they play night games or
everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you need people talking about it.
Right.
And if you're going to talk about football with your buddies, you're still talking about this draft. You're talking about Travis Hunter. You're talking about Shedeur Sanders, whatever. But you're not – they need to conduct this league when there is literally nothing NFL-wise going on at all.
Yeah.
And then maybe you have a chance of, hey, did you see that game last night in Birmingham? And then maybe, you get some decent word of mouth kind of grassroots excitement there. But I don't think it's ever going to work.
Yeah. So same. I don't either. But anyway, listen.
And now you can't even play. We were talking about 5 years ago, pay high school kids directly to go.
Right.
Well, with NIL, that's never going to happen now.
Right.
All those kids are going to go be millionaires
Go make their money in college.
They get on campus.
Yeah, they're going to make their money in college. So, but I wanted to believe it would. And again, this was the last bastion, I think, if there ever is the last one, because they had the USFL and the XFL, and this really is the combination. So I think they finally said, listen, nothing's working. The one last thing we can do is combine all our efforts. Put all the money into one. Before you had Fox doing one and ESPN doing the other. Let's put it all into one, and there's nothing there. Fox is interesting. Fox has it. In my mind, I think Fox has failed in its effort to compete with ESPN. Big Noon Saturday doesn't do it for me. Some of the stuff they pick up doesn't. I liked Buck and Aikman. They lost them. Maybe Brady will be okay.
You didn't like the live golf?
Yeah. I mean, the live. I mean, they have live. You know what I mean? They have live golf.
I saw that a PGA Tour replay.
Yeah.
Did better in the ratings than a live live.
Wow. See, I mean, I just think the whole Fox thing. I know their thing is to try the different stuff, but I don't think it moves the needle.
I agree. They're not much of a factor.
Let's say hello to Rick Below.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
Did you ever like the USFL back in the day? You're too young. You're just a kid.
Yeah.
You're too young. You don't appreciate.
Never got into it.
Bulls. You never. You weren't around with the Bulls or the Bandits or any of that. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
It'll never happen again. So hey,
I'm doing great.
You good? You lying?
Yeah,
You good?
everything's good.
Everything's good. Is Sean McDonough as good a play-by-play guy as there is out there? We just had a conversation about an hour ago. He's really good.
I think him and Tirico, if you look at the range, they can do it all, including hockey. Tirico can do hockey, too.
We were watching the hockey last night. I don't know why. It just was. He's really good.
Sean McDonough? Oh, it's unbelievable.
And he's really, for a guy that doesn't know the sport very well, and again, because it was the two Florida teams I was watching, he's really good.
He got the Red Sox gig at like 22, 23.
Is that right?
His dad, Will McDonough, knew everyone. He actually ran the, not Whitey Bulger, but his brother Billy Bulger was like one of the most powerful men in the Congress in Massachusetts and went on to be the president of the University of Massachusetts. He was his campaign manager. Will McDonough absolutely knew everyone. Sean McDonough came out of Syracuse. He got the Red Sox gig.
Yeah.
At like 22.
I didn't realize that.
And then he's done it all. I mean, I think he is by far one of the best. I loved him on Monday Night Football, and I think it was a step down.
I did too.
When they got rid of him. College football, baseball, hoops, certainly big hockey. The only hockey guy I like nationally better than Sean McDonough is I miss Gary Thorne.
Yeah, that JJ made that point earlier. He was fantastic.
Remember we were doing spring training, and I did like a 15-minute interview with Gary Thorne, and 14 minutes of it was on hockey, and at the very end, I was like, "How the Orioles going to be this year?"
I do remember that.
Gary Thorne was great in the day.
Yeah, I remember it well. What's coming up tonight?
Damian Parson, who I think is one of the very best at doing the draft and everything, going to get a review tonight. We're gonna, we're gonna gloss right over Hunter.
Okay,
let's get to these other guys. Let's find out, what he believes they can do. Right out of the gate. So looking forward to hearing how he graded them and what he believes they'll be able to do as rookies. So we're going to do that in about 30 minutes.
All right, coming up, Rick Ballou goes into the night. That happens right now. We're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel.